Chapter 1. The glitch in the system. The morning sun crept over the horizon, casting long, golden streaks across the warehouse floor of TechVista Solutions, a global full-service company that specialized in constructing Q30 and Q50 structures, LED panel installations, video management, online broadcasting, and corporate event setups. TechVista's reputation was unparalleled. However, the day ahead would test not only the team's skills, but also their patience, creativity, and bond. The team was gathered in the briefing room, sipping coffee and scrolling through their tablets as Paulo, the meticulous project manager, outlined the day's agenda. Paulo had a penchant for order. His sharp, tailored suits mirrored his attention to detail. Beside him, Clara, the LED technician with a vibrant personality and equally bright-colored hair, doodled idly in her notebook. She often found Paulo's meticulousness amusing, though she respected his dedication. On the other end of the room, Raul, the enthusiastic but occasionally reckless junior technician, toyed with a piece of wiring. His ambition often outpaced his caution, a trait that endeared him to some and exasperated others. Next to him sat Priya, the cool-headed video specialist, known for her ability to remain calm under pressure. And finally, there was Jonah, the senior engineer and voice of wisdom in the group, whose laughter could lighten even the most tense situations. Today's task was one of their biggest yet, assembling a complex LED panel and stage structure for an international product launch in Sao Paulo. The client, a high-profile tech giant, demanded nothing short of perfection. The event was to be live-streamed worldwide. Failure was not an option. The warehouse buzzed with activity as crates of LED panels were unloaded, cables coiled, and tools distributed. Raul, eager to prove himself, volunteered to handle the initial wiring setup for the LED panels. Paulo hesitated, but eventually nodded, allowing Raul the chance. "Just stick to the blueprint," Paulo cautioned. "No improvisations." Hours passed, and the stage began to take shape. Clara hummed a tune as she calibrated the LED panels, while Jonah supervised the structure assembly. Priya was engrossed in her setup, ensuring the video feed would be flawless. Everything seemed to be running smoothly, until it wasn't. A loud crackle echoed through the warehouse, followed by a sudden blackout. The hum of machinery ceased, replaced by startled gasps and murmurs. Clara's flashlight flicked on, revealing the team's perplexed faces. "What happened?" Paulo demanded, his voice tinged with urgency. Raul, his face pale, stepped forward hesitantly. I think I might have crossed the wrong wires. I thought it would optimize the power flow, but..." "You what?" Paulo's voice rose, his usual composure slipping. "Raul, this is a multimillion-dollar event. Do you realize the stakes?" "Hey, yelling won't solve anything." Priya interjected, her tone firm. "Let's assess the damage first." Jonah nodded, already moving toward the power grid. "She's right. Let's not point fingers yet. Raul, show me exactly what you did." The team huddled around the power grid as Raul explained his actions. Jonah's brow furrowed as he examined the setup. "It's not just the power grid," he muttered. "The overload might have damaged the LED panel system too." Clara groaned, running a hand through her brightly colored hair. "Great, just great, and we're on a tight schedule." Paulo pinched the bridge of his nose, trying to suppress his frustration. "Okay, we need solutions. Jonah, can you fix the power grid?" "I'll try, but it'll take time," Jonah replied. "Clara, check the panels for damage. Priya, see if the video systems are affected. Raul," he paused, his voice softening. "Stay with me. You'll help me fix this." Raul nodded silently, guilt written all over his face. As the team scattered to their tasks, the atmosphere in the warehouse was tense but determined. Clara discovered that several LED panels had short-circuited, while Priya found glitches in the video management system. It was a domino effect, each issue compounding the next. Hours turned into a race against the clock. Jonah guided Raul through the intricate repairs, occasionally throwing him a reassuring smile. Clara managed to salvage some of the LED panels, while Priya reconfigured the video system to bypass the glitches. Paulo coordinated the efforts, his earlier frustration replaced by a laser-focused determination. By evening, the power grid was functional, but the LED panels remained a critical issue. The team gathered around a makeshift table, brainstorming solutions. Tension hung in the air like a storm cloud, but beneath it was an unspoken camaraderie. "We've come this far," Clara said, breaking the silence. "We're not giving up now." Her words sparked a renewed sense of purpose. Ideas flew across the table as the team worked together, their individual strengths shining through. Raul, despite his earlier mistake, contributed valuable insights, earning nods of approval from Jonah and Priya. As the night wore on, a solution began to take shape. It wasn't perfect, but it was innovative, a testament to the team's resilience and creativity. Yet, as they implemented the final steps, an unexpected complication arose, leaving everyone holding their breath. Chapter 2, Pressure Points. The dawn of a new day brought with it the culmination of the team's late-night efforts. The TechVista warehouse, which once buzzed with activity, now carried the quiet hum of determination as the crew worked tirelessly to troubleshoot the LED system. The shadows of the previous day's crisis still lingered, their intensity growing with each passing hour. The countdown to the event had begun, and the pressure was palpable. Paulo, armed with his unyielding focus, sat at his makeshift command center, surrounded by blueprints, tools, and stacks of notes. The hours of damage control had chipped away at his usual sharp demeanor, revealing a man driven by the weight of responsibility. His voice cut through the stillness as he rallied his team. "We have to finalize the panel setup today. The live test is scheduled for this evening." Meanwhile, Clara and Priya shared a corner of the workshop, their faces illuminated by the glow of computer screens. Clara's nimble fingers danced over a cluster of LED circuits, her colorful hair tied back in a rare display of practicality. She couldn't suppress her playful spirit, even under duress. "Priya, ever feel like these wires are mocking us? Like they're alive and plotting our downfall?" she quipped. Priya cracked a faint smile, her sharp eyes fixed on the video system monitor. "If they are, they picked the wrong team to mess with. Let's remind them who's boss." In the midst of the organized chaos, Raul hovered near Jonah, who was deciphering the complexities of the wiring diagram. Raul's enthusiasm, though slightly dimmed by guilt, had not waned entirely. "I think I figured out why the left panel's power flow is inconsistent," Raul ventured, holding up a diagram. "If we reroute this segment—" "Careful," Jonah interrupted, his voice a steady anchor. "That's a high-risk adjustment, but your observation has merit. Let's consider it." Jonah's patience was unwavering, and his ability to nurture Raul's potential without neglecting the task at hand was a testament to his experience. As the team pushed forward, a new challenge emerged. Clara's diagnostics revealed a software error in the LED system's control unit, a subtle glitch that could jeopardize the synchronization of the panels during the livestream. The discovery sent ripples of urgency through the team. Paulo wasted no time assigning roles. "Clara, focus on isolating the glitch. Priya, prepare a backup video feed in case we can't resolve it in time. Raul, assist Jonah with the panel calibration. Jonah, I trust your expertise to oversee the adjustments." The hours ticked by, each moment weighed down by the gravity of the task. Sweat trickled down foreheads, and strained expressions reflected the intense focus of minds at work. Yet, amidst the tension, a thread of camaraderie wove its way through the team. They exchanged encouraging words, and even managed a few lighthearted jokes to ease the pressure. As the day drew to a close, a breakthrough finally emerged. Clara's ingenuity and relentless determination unraveled the software glitch, while Raul and Jonah perfected the panel calibration. Priya's video feed synchronization was flawless, a testament to her meticulous planning. The team reconvened in the control room for the much-anticipated live test. The tension was almost tangible as the LED panels came to life, their vibrant display illuminating the warehouse. The synchronized visuals, paired with the flawless video feed, were nothing short of breathtaking. Cheers erupted from the team, their exhaustion momentarily forgotten in the glow of success. Even Paulo allowed himself a rare smile, his relief evident. "Well done, everyone," he said, his voice filled with genuine gratitude. "This is why I trust this team. We overcome, no matter what." Yet, as they celebrated, a flicker on the main screen caught Clara's eye. It was brief, but unmistakable, a momentary disruption in the LED display. Her heart skipped a beat as she realized that the problem might not be entirely resolved. She exchanged a glance with Priya, who had noticed it too. Before they could voice their concerns, Paulo's phone buzzed with a notification. He frowned as he read the message, his expression growing serious. "Change of plans," he announced. "The client wants us to relocate the entire setup to a new venue. Tonight." The warehouse fell silent as the weight of the new challenge sank in. The team had barely recovered from their last ordeal, and now they faced an even greater test. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, a spark of determination reignited. They were TechVista, and failure was not in their vocabulary. Chapter 3. The Unexpected Move. The warehouse buzzed with hurried activity. Paulo's announcement of the sudden venue change had sent shockwaves through the team. They had spent hours fine-tuning every detail, only to be told that everything needed to be dismantled, packed, transported, and reassembled, all within the span of one night. The clock was ticking, and the stakes had never been higher. "All right, everyone, listen up," Paulo said, his voice firm but laced with urgency. He stood at the center of the room, his tablet in hand. "The new venue is an open-air convention center just outside the city. We'll have to adjust the setup to account for weather and ambient light. This means recalibrating the LED panels and tweaking the video feed. Clara, Priya, Jonah, Raul, this is going to be a team effort. Let's stay focused." The team nodded, their faces reflecting a mix of determination and exhaustion. Jonah was the first to speak. "We'll need to reinforce the Q50 structures. Open-air setups are tricky, especially if there's wind." "Good point," Paulo replied. "Raul, you'll assist Jonah with the structural adjustments. Clara, focus on reprogramming the LED panels for the new environment. Priya, I'll need you to ensure the video feed remains seamless under natural lighting conditions." As the crew began dismantling the setup, the warehouse became a whirlwind of activity. Crates were packed with meticulous care, wires coiled into neat bundles, and tools organized for quick access. Clara worked swiftly to back up the LED system's programming, her colorful hair sticking to her forehead as she wiped away sweat. Raul, determined to redeem himself after his earlier mistake, worked alongside Jonah to dismantle the Q50 structures. Jonah's calm guidance helped to keep Raul's nerves in check. "Remember, Raul," Jonah said as they worked, "it's not just about speed. Precision is just as important." "I've got it, Jonah," Raul replied, his hands steady as he secured a panel. "I won't mess up this time." Meanwhile, Priya double-checked the video equipment, her sharp eyes scanning for any potential issues. She muttered to herself, making mental notes as she adjusted settings. Natural light, reflections, lens angles. Got it. By the time the truck was loaded and ready to roll, the team was running on sheer determination and caffeine. The drive to the new venue was a quiet one, each member lost in their thoughts. The stakes of the event weighed heavily on their minds, but so did the bond they had forged through their trials. When they arrived at the open-air convention center, the sun was just beginning to rise. The venue was vast, with a sprawling stage area framed by towering steel beams. The team took a moment to take it all in before springing into action. Paulo barked instructions as they unloaded the truck. "Jonah, Raul, start with the Q50 reinforcements. Clara, get the LED panels set up. Priya, start configuring the video feed. I'll coordinate with the event staff to ensure everything is aligned with their requirements." The open-air environment presented a new set of challenges. The morning breeze rustled through the venue, causing slight movements in the structures. Jonah and Raul worked tirelessly to stabilize the Q50 frames, their hands raw from gripping steel. Clara encountered unexpected glitches as she reprogrammed the LED panels to account for the changing light conditions. Seriously, she muttered, furrowing her brow. You're gonna act up now? Fine, let's see who wins. Priya, on the other hand, found herself battling the glare of the rising sun as she adjusted the camera angles. She swapped out lenses and tested filters, her movements precise and deliberate. Almost there, she murmured, her voice a mix of frustration and focus. Despite the challenges, the team made significant progress. By mid-morning, the stage structure was secure, the LED panels were operational, and the video feed was nearly flawless. The event staff, impressed by the team's efficiency, gave them a nod of approval. Just as they were about to test the final setup, Paulo received a call from the client. His expression darkened as he listened. When he hung up, he turned to the team, his jaw tight. The client wants to add a last-minute feature, interactive lighting effects synced with the live stream. They think it'll enhance the experience. The team groaned in unison, but Jonah's laughter broke the tension. Of course they do. Why make our lives easy? Paulo managed a thin smile. All right, let's make it happen. Clara, you lead this. Priya, coordinate with her to ensure the sync works seamlessly. Jonah, Raul, keep an eye on the structural integrity. We've got this. As they dove into the new task, the camaraderie that had carried them through so many challenges resurfaced. They joked and teased each other, their spirits lifting despite the exhaustion. It was as if the chaos had become their norm, and they had learned to thrive in it. By the time they completed the setup, the sun was high in the sky. The stage was a masterpiece, harmonious blend of technology and artistry. The LED panels gleamed, the video feed was flawless, and the interactive lighting effects added a dynamic element that elevated the entire setup. As they stood back to admire their work, Paulo's phone buzzed again. He glanced at the message and then turned to the team with a wry smile. The client loves it. They want us to prepare for a rehearsal in an hour. The team laughed, their exhaustion momentarily forgotten. They had faced yet another impossible challenge and emerged victorious. But as they prepared for the rehearsal, a subtle unease lingered in the back of their minds. The flicker in the LED system that Clara and Priya had noticed earlier hadn't reappeared. But it hadn't been resolved either. Chapter 4, Cracks in the Facade. The rehearsal began under the blazing midday sun, with every detail scrutinized by both the TechVista team and the client's representatives. The LED panels shimmered with vivid colors, the lighting effects danced in perfect harmony with the visuals, and the video feed streamed flawlessly to the test monitors. It was a performance that showcased the team's expertise and resilience. On the surface, at least, Clara stood near the control console, her sharp eyes scanning the LED panel displays for any irregularities. She hadn't forgotten the flicker from the previous night, and despite the success of the rehearsals so far, a nagging feeling gnawed at her. She knew the glitch was like a hairline crack in a facade, small but capable of growing under the right conditions. Everything looks good, Priya remarked, adjusting her headset as she monitored the video feed. No dropped frames, no syncing issues. I think we've nailed it. Don't get too comfortable, Clara replied, her tone half joking but laced with genuine concern. These systems have a way of surprising you at the worst possible moment. Nearby, Jonah and Raul were double-checking the structural integrity of the Q50 frames. Jonah's experience made him a master of spotting potential weaknesses, and Raul watched intently, eager to learn. See this bolt here? Jonah said, pointing to a connection. It's secure, but if the wind picks up, this section could shift. Let's reinforce it. Got it, Raul said, reaching for his tool set. His hands moved with practiced precision, a far cry from the nervous fidgeting of the day before. It was clear that Jonah's mentorship was having an impact. Paulo, stationed near the client representatives, kept a watchful eye on the entire operation. His tablet buzzed constantly with updates and messages, but his attention was frequently drawn to Clara and Priya's workstation. He trusted his team, but the weight of responsibility made it impossible for him to fully relax. As the rehearsal progressed, the flicker reappeared, brief but noticeable. Clara's heart sank. She immediately tapped Priya on the shoulder. "Did you see that?" Priya nodded, her expression serious. "Yeah, it's the same glitch, but it's so intermittent that isolating the cause is going to be tough." Clara leaned closer to the monitor, her mind racing. "It's not just a visual glitch. It's affecting the system's timing. If this happens during a live event, it could throw off the entire performance." Meanwhile, Paulo noticed the exchange and approached them. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice low but firm. Clara hesitated for a moment before explaining. "There's a recurring glitch in the LED system. It's minor, but it could escalate." Paulo's jaw tightened. "Why didn't we catch this earlier?" "We did," Priya said, her tone calm, "but it's sporadic and hard to pinpoint. We've been focused on the other issues." Paulo sighed, running a hand through his hair. "All right, do whatever it takes to fix this. We can't afford any surprises during the live event." As Clara and Priya delved into troubleshooting the glitch, the rest of the team continued their preparations. Jonah and Raul completed the reinforcements, and Paulo coordinated with the client's tech team to ensure everything was aligned for the evening's main event. Hours passed, and the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the venue. The team worked tirelessly, their faces etched with determination and fatigue. Clara and Priya made progress in isolating the glitch, but a definitive solution remained elusive. Just as they were beginning to lose hope, Raul approached them with an idea. "I was thinking," he began hesitantly, "what if the glitch isn't just a software issue? What if it's tied to the hardware connections? Maybe something got damaged during the transport." Clara raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "That's actually a good point. Let's check the wiring on the affected panels." Together, they inspected the connections, and sure enough, they found a loose wire that had gone unnoticed. Clara quickly secured it, and Priya ran a test. The results were promising. The glitch was gone. The team let out a collective sigh of relief, but Paulo remained cautious. "Good work, Raul," he said, his tone sincere. "But let's run another full test to be sure." The second test proceeded without a hitch, and for the first time that day, the team allowed themselves to breathe a little easier. As they gathered around to prepare for the final setup, Jonah clapped Raul on the shoulder. "You're starting to think like an engineer," he said with a grin. Raul smiled, a mix of pride and humility in his expression. "Thanks, Jonah. I'm just glad I could help." As night fell and the lights of the venue illuminated the stage, the TechVista team stood together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The flicker was gone, but the experience had left them on edge. They knew that the true test was yet to come. Chapter 5, Shadows of Doubt. The night was alive with anticipation as the final preparations for the event unfolded. The open-air venue, now bathed in a vibrant array of lights, seemed to pulsate with energy. The TechVista team, though worn to the bone, stood as a collective force of determination, each member playing their part with precision. Clara crouched by the LED panel control system, conducting one last round of checks. Though the earlier glitch had been resolved, her instincts refused to let her rest easy. She double-checked the wiring, ran diagnostic tests, and monitored the system's response to various commands. Beside her, Priya coordinated the video feed, her headset buzzing with input from the event's media director. "I think we're good to go," Priya said, glancing at Clara. "Everything's running smooth." Clara nodded, though her mind lingered on the faint sense of unease she couldn't shake. "Let's hope it stays that way, but stay sharp just in case." Across the venue, Raul was assisting Jonah with a final inspection of the Q50 structures. The open-air environment posed new risks, and the team couldn't afford even the slightest oversight. Jonah tested the tension of support cables, while Raul checked for structural alignment. "Feels solid," Jonah said, giving the frame a firm push. "Good work, Raul. You've come a long way in a short time." "Thanks, Jonah," Raul replied, a hint of pride in his voice. "I've had a good teacher." Paulo, standing near the event's command center, kept a vigilant eye on his team and the client staff. His tablet was a flurry of activity as he coordinated with various departments, ensuring everything was aligned for the live broadcast. Despite his composed exterior, the weight of responsibility bore down on him like never before. The event's start time drew closer, and the venue began to fill with a mix of attendees, corporate executives, media personnel, and curious onlookers. The atmosphere crackled with excitement as the audience marveled at the high-tech stage and immersive lighting effects. It was a spectacle that showcased TechVista's innovative prowess. Yet, amidst the buzz of excitement, a shadow of doubt crept in. Clara's keen eyes noticed something unusual on her monitor, a subtle fluctuation in the system's output. It wasn't the same as the earlier glitch, but it was enough to raise alarm bells in her mind. "Priya," Clara called out, her voice tense. "Do you see this?" Priya leaned over to inspect the monitor. "It's slight, but it's there. Could be interference or a minor hardware hiccup." Clara bit her lip, her mind racing. "Minor now, but what if it escalates? We need to find the source." As the two technicians delved into the anomaly, Paulo approached them, sensing the shift in their demeanor. "What's going on?" he asked, his tone sharp but controlled. Clara explained the issue, and Paulo's expression hardened. "Can you isolate it?" "We're working on it," Priya said, "but it's subtle and sporadic. It might take time." "Time we don't have," Paulo muttered, his frustration evident. "Do what you can. I trust you." The team's collective focus tightened as the countdown to the live event began. Clara and Priya raced against the clock to pinpoint the anomaly. Raul and Jonah reinforced their areas one last time, and Paulo orchestrated the chaos with unrelenting determination. As the final minutes ticked away, the anomaly seemed to stabilize. Clara breathed a tentative sigh of relief. "It's holding steady," she said. "For now." The event commenced with a burst of energy. The LED panels came to life, displaying breathtaking visuals that complemented the dynamic lighting effects. The video feed streamed seamlessly to audiences around the world, capturing the grandeur of the moment. The TechVista team watched with a mix of pride and anxiety. They had poured their hearts and souls into this project, and the fruits of their labor were on full display. Yet, as the event progressed, a subtle tension lingered in the air, a nagging reminder that not everything was as it seemed. And then it happened. A sudden flicker rippled across the LED panels, drawing gasps from the audience. The visuals faltered for a split second before recovering, but the disruption was enough to cause alarm. Clara's heart sank as she scrambled to assess the system. "No, no, no," she muttered under her breath. "Not now." Paulo's voice cut through the commotion. "Clara, what's happening?" "I don't know," Clara replied, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "It's the anomaly, it's back." Priya jumped into action, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos. Switching to backup feed, she announced, her hands steady as she executed the command. The transition was seamless, but the flicker left a ripple of uncertainty. The team regrouped backstage, their expressions grim as they analyzed the situation. Jonah's voice broke the silence. "We need a solution, and fast." As the event continued, the team worked frantically to stabilize the system. The pressure was immense, but they refused to give up. Raul, driven by a newfound confidence, suggested an unconventional approach. "What if we bypass the affected panels and redistribute the load to the others? It's risky, but it might work." Clara considered the idea, her mind weighing the pros and cons. "It's a gamble, but it might be our best shot." With Paulo's approval, the team implemented Raul's plan, their movements precise and coordinated. The stakes had never been higher, but their collective determination pushed them forward. As the final moments of the event approached, the system held steady. The flicker was gone, and the audience remained captivated by the spectacle. The team watched from backstage, their exhaustion overshadowed by a sense of accomplishment. But even as the event concluded without further incident, the question lingered. Had they truly resolved the issue, or had they merely bought themselves time? Chapter 6, The Fragile Edge. The air backstage was thick with exhaustion and relief as the TechVista team celebrated the event's apparent success. The audience applauded enthusiastically, unaware of the technical tightrope the team had walked to keep the performance seamless. Yet, as the crowd dispersed and the stage lights dimmed, the lingering question of the system's stability hung over the team like a cloud. Clara slumped into a folding chair near the console, her face streaked with sweat and smudged with grease from hours of hands-on troubleshooting. Priya sat beside her, pulling off her headset and rubbing her temples. "We made it through," Priya said softly. "But that glitch, it's still haunting us, isn't it?" Clara nodded, her gaze fixed on the dormant LED panels. "It's like a cracking glass. You can't always see it, but you know it's there, waiting for the right moment to shatter everything." Raul, energized by his earlier contribution, joined them with a fresh cup of coffee in hand. "At least we managed to stabilize it for now. That counts for something, right?" "It does," Jonah interjected, walking over with Paulo in tow. Raul's plan was a solid stopgap. But Clara's right. The underlying issue isn't fixed. "We were lucky this time." Paulo crossed his arms, his sharp features drawn into a thoughtful frown. "Luck isn't a strategy we can afford to rely on. We need to get to the root of this, even if it means working through the night." The team groaned collectively but nodded in agreement. They knew that their reputation, and perhaps even the company's future, was on the line. The stakes were too high to leave anything to chance. As the crew began dismantling the stage and packing the equipment for transport back to the warehouse, Clara's mind raced with possible solutions. The glitch was like a phantom, elusive and infuriating. She needed a breakthrough, something to connect the dots and reveal the source of the problem. Priya, ever the voice of calm, offered a suggestion. "What if it's not just one issue? Complex systems like this often have multiple points of failure. Maybe we've been so focused on finding the problem that we've overlooked smaller, interconnected issues." "That's a good point," Jonah said, stroking his beard thoughtfully. "We've been treating it like a single fault in the system, but it could be a chain reaction. One weak link triggering another." Paulo leaned forward, his expression intense. "If that's the case, how do we approach it? We don't have the luxury of tearing everything apart and starting from scratch." Clara looked up, a spark of inspiration in her eyes. "We don't need to. What if we map the system's behavior during the event? The logs should show us patterns, areas where the system hesitated, even for a fraction of a second. If we can identify those patterns, we might be able to pinpoint the weak links." "That's brilliant," Priya said, her enthusiasm cutting through the fatigue. "Let's pull the logs as soon as we get back to the warehouse." The team worked tirelessly through the night, unloading the equipment and setting up a makeshift lab in the warehouse. Clara and Priya pored over the system logs, their eyes scanning lines of code and data streams for anomalies. Raul assisted with hardware inspections, while Jonah focused on the structural components to rule out any physical faults. Paulo alternated between overseeing the team's efforts and coordinating with the client's technical staff. His tablet buzzed incessantly with updates and messages, but he remained focused on supporting his team. As dawn approached, Clara let out a triumphant shout. "I think I've got something." The team rushed to her side as she pointed to the monitor. "Look here." During the event, there were microsecond delays in the signal transmission between these two modules. It's so small it wouldn't trigger an obvious error, but it's enough to cause instability under high load. "So, it's a communication issue between components?" Raul asked, his brow furrowing. "Exactly," Clara replied. "And it's not just a software problem. The hardware's connectors in this section are worn out. That's why the issue is intermittent. It depends on the load and environmental factors." Jonah nodded, impressed. "Good catch. That explains why it escalated during the event." Paulo placed a hand on Clara's shoulder, his usual stern demeanor softening. "Outstanding work, Clara. Now, how do we fix it?" Clara smiled, a mix of relief and determination in her expression. "It's a simple replacement, but we'll need to reinforce the new connectors to ensure long-term stability. Priya and I can handle the software adjustments to prevent signal overload." the team sprang into action, each member contributing their expertise to implement the solution. By mid-morning, the repairs were complete, and a full system test was underway. The LED panels lit up in perfect synchronization, their vibrant display unmarred by glitches. As the team watched the flawless performance, a wave of relief washed over them. For the first time in days, they allowed themselves to truly relax. Jonah clapped Raul on the back, grinning. "Looks like we've finally exorcised the ghost in the machine." "Yeah," Raul said with a laugh. "And this time, I didn't break anything." Clara turned to Paulo, a playful glint in her eye. "So, boss, does this mean we've earned a day off?" Paulo chuckled, a rare sound that surprised the team. "You've earned more than that. Take the weekend. You've all more than earned it." As the sun rose over the warehouse, the TechVista team shared a moment of quiet triumph. They had faced seemingly insurmountable challenges and emerged stronger, not just as colleagues, but as a true team. But as they packed up their tools and prepared to go home, Clara couldn't help but wonder, what would the next challenge bring? Chapter 7, The Breaking Point. The stillness of the weekend brought a deceptive calm over the TechVista warehouse. After days of chaos and sleepless nights, the team took some much-needed time off, leaving the workspace eerily quiet. Yet, beneath the surface, remnants of the ordeal remained. Questions left unanswered, nerves frayed, and the ever-present pressure of perfection. By Monday morning, the team reassembled, refreshed, but cautious. Paulo, sharp as ever, stood in front of a whiteboard, outlining the agenda for the week. "We have follow-ups with the client, a debrief on the event, and most importantly, a full system audit to prevent future issues. I want no stone left unturned." Clara raised her hand, a flicker of her usual humor returning. "Does this include searching the staff fridge for the mystery yogurt that's been there since last quarter?" The room erupted in laughter, breaking the tension that had lingered since the event. Even Paulo allowed himself a small chuckle. "That's not the kind of audit I was referring to, but if it clears the air, be my guest." As the team got to work, Jonah and Raul focused on dismantling the remaining equipment, while Clara and Priya began compiling a comprehensive report on the event. The familiar hum of activity filled the warehouse once again, restoring a sense of normalcy. But as the day progressed, Clara's unease returned. While reviewing the system logs, she noticed a pattern she hadn't seen before, something subtle, almost imperceptible, but undeniably there. Her fingers flew across the keyboard as she cross-referenced data points, her brow furrowing deeper with each passing minute. "Priya," she called out, her voice tinged with urgency. "Come take a look at this." Priya joined her at the console, her sharp eyes scanning the screen. "What am I looking at?" "These signal delays," Clara explained, "they're not just random. They're consistent, but only under specific conditions. It's like the system is reacting to something." "Reacting to what?" Priya asked, her curiosity piqued. "That's what I'm trying to figure out," Clara replied. "But I think it's tied to the interactive lighting effects we added last minute. There's a feedback loop between the lighting controls and the LED panels that's causing micro-interruptions in the signal flow." Priya's face darkened with realization. If that's true, it's not just a glitch, it's a design flaw. A systemic one. Clara nodded grimly. "And if we don't address it now, it could cause bigger problems down the line." Meanwhile, across the warehouse, Jonah and Raul were conducting hardware inspections. As they dismantled a Q50 frame, Raul noticed something unusual, a faint scorch mark near one of the connectors. "Hey, Jonah," Raul said, pointing to the mark. "Look at this. Could this have anything to do with the issues we've been facing?" Jonah inspected the connector closely, his expression serious. "It's possible. If there's a fault in the wiring that's causing power surges, it could be contributing to the instability. We need to report this to Clara and Priya." As the two teams converged to share their findings, Paulo listened intently, his sharp mind piecing together the fragments of the puzzle. "So, we're dealing with a combination of software feedback loops and hardware vulnerabilities," he summarized. "This isn't just about fixing a bug, it's about rethinking our entire approach." The team fell silent, the weight of the revelation settling over them like a heavy blanket. The challenges they had faced during the event were merely symptoms of a deeper, more complex problem. "We can do this," Jonah said, his voice steady and reassuring. "We've faced worse before." "Yeah," Raul chimed in, his confidence growing, "and we've got the best team for the job." Paulo looked around the room, his gaze landing on each member of his team. "You're right, this is what we do. Let's break it down, tackle it step by step, and make sure we come out stronger on the other side." The team dove into the task with renewed determination, their individual strengths shining as they worked together to address the issues. Clara and Priya redesigned the software architecture to eliminate the feedback loop, while Jonah and Raul overhauled the hardware components to ensure stability. Paulo coordinated the efforts with his usual precision, keeping the team focused and on track. As the hours turned into days, the warehouse became a hive of activity once more. The team's camaraderie and resilience carried them through the grueling process, each member driven by a shared commitment to excellence. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the system was ready for testing. The team gathered around the console, their faces reflecting a mix of exhaustion and anticipation. "Here goes nothing," Clara said, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. With a deep breath, she initiated the test. The LED panels lit up in perfect harmony, their vibrant display unmarred by glitches or delays. The interactive lighting effects synchronized flawlessly, creating a breathtaking visual experience. The room erupted in cheers and applause as the team celebrated their hard-earned victory. Paulo allowed himself a rare moment of vulnerability, his usual composure giving way to a genuine smile. "Well done, everyone. You've exceeded my expectations yet again." As the team basked in the glow of their success, a sense of pride and accomplishment filled the warehouse. They had faced adversity head-on and emerged stronger, not just as colleagues, but as a family. Yet, even in their triumph, one question lingered in the back of their minds. What new challenges awaited them in the future? Chapter 8: Bright Horizons. The warehouse stood quiet once more, illuminated only by the soft ambient glow of the LED panels that had become symbols of the team's journey. It was a stillness that carried the weight of triumph, reflection, and a hint of bittersweet nostalgia. The TechVista team had emerged from the chaos stronger than ever, but the journey had left its mark on each of them. Paulo called the team to gather one last time in the center of the warehouse. He looked around at the faces that had carried this monumental project to success. Clara, with her relentless determination and unmatched ingenuity. Priya, with her calm and calculating brilliance. Jonah, with his seasoned wisdom and steady guidance. And Raul, with his newfound confidence and growing skill. They were not just colleagues, they were family. "Well," Paulo began, his voice echoing through the spacious room, "we've done it. Not just this event, but everything that led up to it. The long nights, the endless problems, and the moments of doubt, it all brought us here. And I couldn't be prouder of what we've accomplished together." The team exchanged smiles, the gravity of his words sinking in. Clara stepped forward, a rare moment of solemnity softening her usual spark. "Paulo's right. This wasn't just about solving problems or meeting deadlines. It was about us, how we came together, how we relied on each other. I've been through a lot of projects, but this one feels different. It's because it showed us who we are," Jonah said, his deep voice tinged with pride. "We're more than a team. We're a family, and families stick together no matter what." Priya nodded in agreement. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't easy, but that's what made it meaningful. And that's what will make us even stronger moving forward. Raul, who had grown so much through the course of the project, couldn't contain his grin. "I learned so much from all of you. Honestly, I thought I'd be the weak link, but you never gave up on me. And now, I feel ready to take on whatever comes next." Paulo's sharp features softened as he addressed Raul. "That's because we believed in you, Raul. And more importantly, you learned to believe in yourself. You're a vital part of this team." The group stood together in silence for a moment, each lost in their thoughts. The challenges they had faced had been daunting, but they had faced them together, and that made all the difference. Well, Clara finally said, breaking the silence with a grin, "I don't know about the rest of you, but I think this calls for a celebration. I hear there's a great barbecue place nearby." Laughter erupted as the team began to relax, the tension of the past few weeks finally melting away. They packed up their tools and locked up the warehouse, ready to share not just a meal, but the stories, laughter, and camaraderie that had defined their journey. As they walked out into the bright morning light, Paulo paused to take one last look at the warehouse. It was more than just a workspace, it was the heart of their shared experiences, a place where they had grown together. He allowed himself a rare smile before joining the team, his heart full of gratitude and hope. The TechVista team had faced their greatest challenges and emerged not just as individuals, but as something greater. And as they looked ahead to new horizons, they knew that whatever came next, they would face it together.